Hey everyone, and welcome to Drive Steady. Porsche made some really exciting news about the upcoming Cayman GTS, and that is that they're going to put the 4-liter 6-cylinder engine in it. So I started asking myself this question: is this just another marketing gimmick from Porsche to sell more 718 generation Caymans, or are they finally starting to take the Cayman platform a little bit more seriously and to build upon the immense potential that it has? So in this video, I'm going to tell you all about this GTS and share some of my thoughts about it. Okay, before getting started about the GTS, I wanted to thank everybody who subscribes to our channel and continuously watches our content. And if this is your first time stopping by, I would like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all of our content, and also to hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this Cayman GTS. Now, the GTS name has lived in the Cayman platform for quite some time now, and the 718 generation has a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Now, the Porsche enthusiasts weren't really excited about Porsche downsizing the Cayman's engine from a 6-cylinder to a 4-cylinder within this generation. But I think those people are going to be happy to find out that a 6-cylinder is making its way back into the Cayman. And it's not just any 6-cylinder, it's the 4-liter engine that's going to be found in the Cayman GT4. So let's talk about this GTS a little bit, starting with that 4-liter engine. As I mentioned, it's the same that's going to be found in the GT4, but it's going to have a little bit less horsepower. The GT4 has a 414 horsepower version of it. The GTS is going to have 394 horsepower and 309 foot-pounds of torque for a difference of 20 horsepower. Now, if you ask me, that's a really marginal difference that most people on the street will probably not even feel. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a wash there, especially considering that the torque is going to be the same at 309. Now, some of the other things that the GTS trim in the Cayman is going to get you over just a regular Cayman S is that it's going to have the sport exhaust system as standard. It's going to have a 6-speed manual transmission. I haven't really seen if Porsche is going to put the PDK in the GTS, but for now it looks like it's just going to be a 6-speed manual only, which is absolutely fantastic. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. And then the GTS will also come standard with PASM, which is Porsche Active Suspension Management. And then because the GTS is going to get that bigger 4-liter engine, they wanted to upgrade the braking. So the front brakes will be upgraded from 12 inches to 13 inches. It'll have 6 pistons in the front, and it'll be painted with a red caliper. And then, of course, this being a Porsche, you will have an option for carbon ceramic brakes. And you'll also get torque vectoring and a mechanical limited slip differential in the GTS trim. And of course, because it's a GTS, there will be exterior and interior enhancements to kind of differentiate the trim from the standard S model and base level. So from the exterior, you get some blacking out and some extra trim and badging pieces, in addition to 20-inch wheels. And on the interior, you'll also get some extra Alcantara and some sway and some additional GTS badging as well. Now, another interior item is that you'll get the Sport Chrono package, which adds the little clock. But that's pretty much all we know, or all the information that was released about the GTS. The big news here is obviously that it's going to get the 4-liter 6-cylinder engine. So let's talk about that engine a little bit. The 4-liter engine that's going to come in this GTS should not be mistaken with the one that is in the 991.2 GT3 and GT3 RS. This 4-liter is a bored and stroked version of the 992-911 3-liter twin turbocharged engine. So they take the 3-liter, they bore and stroke it to 4 liters, and they take off the turbos, and it's naturally aspirated. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the horsepower and torque figures is that this 4-liter engine is going to rev to 7,800 RPM. Now, the difference here between the GT4, which has the same 4-liter, and the GTS is that there's a 20 horsepower difference. And the redline is about 200 less. The GT4 has a 8,000 RPM redline, and the GTS is going to have a 7,800 RPM redline. Now, talking about the question I posed in the introduction of the video on if this is a gimmick or is this really something to be taken seriously as a potential driver's car. My opinion of it is that yes, it should be taken seriously, and it is going to be an absolutely amazing driver's car, especially because you're combining the 6-speed manual with that fantastic naturally aspirated 4-liter 6-cylinder engine. Now, is Porsche finally turning a corner with the Cayman platform? I think they are, because they're showing a little bit more dedication to the Cayman. And I'll tell you why in a second, but some evidence, I think, to support that conclusion. And one of the things is that they're building the GT4 now. They were building the GT4 in the previous generation. They're continuing to build it now. And in addition to that, let's go back to that 4-liter engine. It's a brand new engine. In the past, Porsche has always stunted, so to speak, the Cayman's potential because they wanted to protect the 911. Well, if they wanted to protect it so much, then why did they put this brand new 4-liter engine in the Cayman platform? It's completely new. It's actually really exciting. It revs really high and it has 400 horsepower. Then why not put it in the 911 and put it first in the Cayman platform, a platform that's actually been around for quite some time now. So I think, as I mentioned, Porsche is starting to turn the corner with the Cayman. And let me tell you why I think they're doing this. I think it's purely marketing, because the 911 is going up market. Previously, the 911 was, the base version at least, was between $85,000 and $90,000. Now, the base 992 911 is $100,000, and obviously you add on options and it grows up to $110,000, $115,000. Porsche needs something to fit into that $85,000 to $90,000 range, and they're using the Cayman and moving it up into this segment. Now, one thing I wanted to kind of make a prediction on, and that is that Porsche will introduce a new entry-level car, I don't know, maybe within the next 5 to 7 years, to slot in where the Cayman sits now as the entry-level sports car, for the reason I just stated, because the Cayman is moving up in the lineup. So that's my thought on the Cayman platform and the dedication from Porsche moving forward. Now, the last thought I had about the GTS is it worth it? Is it something that you'll want to buy over the GT4? Now, in my opinion and my personal experience with buying cars, I kind of like to just leave it bare bones. So if you're buying a bare bones GTS against a bare bone GT4, the price difference is going to be about $9,000 to $10,000. Now, if you ask for my opinion, I would go for the GT4 in a base configuration with no options. And let me tell you why. Because a GT4 is a GT4. It's a GT level Porsche, which actually means something, and I want some of the specialness and the exclusivity of the GT4 platform. Yes, I'm not taking anything away from the GTS, but for a $10,000 price difference, when you're talking about a $90,000 versus a $100,000 car, you're already spending a lot of money. So in my opinion, why not just spend that extra money and buy the full-fledged race car in the GT4? Now, to close out this video, I just wanted to share on how I think the GTS is going to fare. And I think it's going to do really, really well. It's got all the ingredients that you look for in a good driver's car. It's got a high revving, naturally aspirated engine. It has a 6-speed manual transmission. It is a mid-engine layout, which offers great balance front and rear. And in addition to that, it's fairly lightweight. So all these things will absolutely contribute to a very popular driver's car. I think it's one of those cars that's going to possibly become a classic in the future for well-maintained, possibly paint to sample examples, with the 6-speed manual. That is indeed if they don't make a PDK version of it. But that's my thought on the Cayman GTS. I'd like to know what your opinion is, and if you've got any questions for us, please send us a comment down below. Two other things before closing the video out. Number one, if you're interested in some of our other car reviews, please check out our channel page. We recently did a review on the Mercedes AMG GTR, which was an absolutely bonkers car. That was a lot of fun. And secondly, if you're interested in this t-shirt that I'm wearing, there's a link in the description below to the Drive Steady merchandise store. You can go ahead and pick one up for yourself and help support our channel. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, drive steady.